Welcome back to the show. It is June 19th, 2011. This is the final segment of my show. But I want to let the listeners know, JP, John Preston, who follows my show, he's going to be, he's stuck doing some personal family stuff, but he will be doing a show, but he's going to be running a few minutes late. So I'm going to be dragging Susan on over into the beginning of JP's show to, introduce his audience to her and, give out the same information. So if you guys want, you guys can stay tuned. You might hear some of the same information, and Susan might even, release a few new tidbits while she's over there. You never know, because she's a great guest. It's great to have her on. So you never know.
Thank you.
Make sure to follow us on over to JP's show. All right, Susan, back to Libya. What do you think? Do you think? I mean, I know there's oil in Libya and everything, but there's also a huge freshwater aquifer under Libya, and I really got to wonder if that's also a reason.
Well, I will tell you that what is going on has a lot to do with Israel. I think Israel has. I have documents which I could actually send to you. You have been so great in doing all this stuff that I would be willing to send you a document that you can post. And unfortunately, it's in Hebrew, and it's from the Israeli military. And it is promising to provide financial support to the Libyan rebels in exchange for future military cooperation with the Israeli government. The Libyan rebels have apparently promised Israel the right to open a military base in the Green Mountain region of Libya, which is highly wealthy in animal life and minerals, particularly gold. Oh, my.
Oh, interesting.
And, yes.
Kind of like the Golan Heights.
Yes. And they would have gold. They would have the military base in a region that is rich with gold. And not only that, Israel has been promised the right to have a natural gas pipeline that will go from Libya to Israel, and then Israel will be able to export Libyan oil. Ooh, now isn't that interesting?
Oh, big surprise there.
Yes. Libya will transfer its oil to Israel and through pumping stations and the pipeline, and then Israel will have natural gas for its own use, and it will whatever it doesn't use for itself, it can export. And
interesting to note as well, Libya was also one of the only countries in Africa or around the Middle Eastern region there, or even into Asia. Except for Iran. Iran doesn't have a Rothschild Zionist bank, and their fingers involved in their banking system. Hence, we want to bomb them too. But Libya didn't have a Rothschild-controlled bank in its country, and then all of a sudden, within like the first week of these rebels, quote, I'm doing air quotes, these rebels fighting, they created a oil company and the national bank.
Yes, indeed.
Like
yes,
their own
they
central
did.
banking system. That's great.
Now listen, I want to challenge all of you. If any American citizen decided that we were going to secede from Washington, which I'm sure a lot of us would like to do, and we decided we were going to open our own bank and have our own national currency for distribution in the United States of America, how fast do you think it would take the FBI to show up on our door with probably a SWAT team to arrest us and take us away?
They'd be there in seconds.
In seconds. This is recognized as treason and criminal behavior in any country of the world. Why should Libyan rebels be entitled to something that no other country is allowed to do? You just are not allowed to set up your own currency. You're not allowed to do it. I mean, you're not allowed to have your own banking system. Can you imagine if I decided to privatize Wall Street tomorrow?
They just arrested that guy, and all he was doing was selling silver coins that he was legally minting because, quote-unquote, silver's not a legal currency, so there should be no law against You know, you can mint it. That's why Max Kaiser sells, you know, silver with his face on it. RTR, you know, they have silver coins and they do copper and stuff. There's no quote unquote law against it because it's not considered legal currency. Yet they just arrested some guy and the government confiscated millions of dollars of his silver. And I guarantee you that's never going to get seen again. You can kiss that goodbye.
Kiss it goodbye. Kiss it goodbye.
Yeah, that's what's funding this. You know, they need to do that, Susan. They need to keep buying bombs. You know, they have to cut out, well, we have to get rid of Medicare and Medicaid. Well, why do you have to do that? Well, because we have to go bomb Libya.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like, you know, some people have said to me, well, you know, you're exposing these war crimes in Libya. You should be defending the United States. You don't want to expose, you know, bad things in the United States. Because that the United States is doing, if you're a former CIA asset, that's not loyal. You're not acting with loyalty. You're acting like a double agent by exposing what's happening here. But in fact, I truly, deeply believe that by doing this now, I am trying to save what's left of the American middle class from being forced to finance another third catastrophic war that's going to take what's left of our Medicare, what's left of our Social Security and our pensions and our infrastructure monies. We are destroying the last of the middle class, and the part of the middle class that's gone is gone forever. I personally used to be a member of the middle class, and I don't know that I will ever regain what I had. And I don't want anybody to be where I am at right now. You know, I want to save the middle class.
I agree.
Yeah, I want to save the middle class.
I live right at the poverty line, and life is not what it used to be. And this country is not the country I grew up in at all. At all. Our values and morals are screwed up beyond belief. And I know that a lot of that has to do with the mind control that they do on the public and MK Ultra and everything else. But for real, I mean, the citizens of this country need to stop blaming, well, you know, they do this and this and that. No. You know, at some point, everybody has to take responsibility for our fault. As a country, we've allowed to what's happening to go on, and we should all be ashamed of ourselves, and that alone should snap us out of our stupidity and make us pick ourselves up by our bootstraps and clean this mess up while we still can, because they're trying to stop us from being able to clean this mess up. That's the whole point of these wars and everything. They're going to look what happened to Rome. They overextended themselves, and it collapsed. And that's exactly what's happening to this empire.
Yeah. And I don't want, and I mean, we're the losers in this war. You know, they're going to bomb Libya, sure, but we're going to be the ones we're going to be the ones paying for it. Our children are going to pay for it. We're going to lose our education system. I don't know how they think we're supposed to buy health insurance. I've never figured that out. But it's not possible. Home ownership, the whole foreclosure market is I mean, the whole foreclosure debacle. Those people who are lost are not going to be able to get up again, and we just cannot throw away the middle class. We can't. So when I look at this, why is it necessary? Hell, I don't, pardon me, I don't know Gaddafi anything. Gaddafi never did anything for me. I can assure you that if anybody should have a grievance with Gaddafi, I would know where to find them. I am not doing this to help Gaddafi. I'm doing this because I believe that we are going to be trashing what's left of our middle class. It is a huge mistake, and if we must not allow. A lot is going to happen between now and October, and we have got to take advantage of this time to really make people know who are we supporting over there, why are we supporting these people? And when you see these videos that Federal Jack is coming out with, and that are going to be coming up over the next week, because I've got more coming every day, more and more, and they're horrifying.
There's no reason A for us to be in Libya. B, the myth that Libya was behind Pan Am 103, Lockerbie. Is just absurd. And from what I understand, if you look into it, correct me if I'm wrong, but I found out that it was a rogue or a CIA group that an oversight group had caught them doing what they weren't supposed to be doing, and they were flying back to Washington. And in order to stop the oversight group from going back and getting them shut down, they literally blew them out of the sky and then blamed it on the Libyans. And it was actually a Syrian guys that did it on behest of the CIA. Am I correct?
Exactly. That is exactly correct. The guy who put the bomb on the airplane was the nephew of Ahmed Jibril. The guy who did it, who actually put the bomb on the airplane, lives in Virginia, about 6 miles from my house where I am right now. And he's been here for 20 years with full United States government protection. My old CIA handler, Dr. Richard Hughes, used to say that a couple of times terrorists from the Lockerbie attack, involved in the greater Lockerbie conspiracy, had shown up at his office escorted by the FBI. And while their FBI handlers waited in the lobby, they sat very calmly, contentedly in his office saying, ha, 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 you thought we were going to get you, or that you were going to get us, and you thought you were going to get us, and we beat you. You can't stop us.
Incredible. That's the New World Order for you, flaunting it right in their face. Susan, it's been a great show. Thank you for coming on.